Welcome to the Play No Games podcast. I'm Cartier Rob.
I'm Tay Ford, and that wine clearly is hitting you.
Well, let's just say I have so many things to be thankful for. This wine, good people, me winning my championships, fuck my ops. But here. Two-time champion, but that's all I have to say. We have business. Let's just say we have a very demure, very luxurious podcast for us today. And I'm gonna make sure I'm right. To my left, right? Can I say left? To my left.
Your left, yes.
Oh, I forgot to do the things. Like, comment, subscribe. I forget something else.
No, that was it.
Okay, like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, to my left, I have a connoisseur of many things, many talents, and she's going to be able to tell you what she's all about. And I have to my left
Tali
on the podcast today.
Slow clap.
Yeah.
No, it has
Can you
been.
help her with our very first game?
Yeah, I can. So, Tali, we like to play this game called Play No Games, no pun intended, or pun intended, however you want to look at it. Basically, you're just gonna spitball anything that happened throughout your day or week that's either positive or negative that's important to you. So, like, for example, Rob's gonna kick it off and he's gonna tell us what he played no games about.
I play no games about winning my fantasy championship league. It's not about the money, it's about the principle. Because I had a whole year of niggas hating on me, calling me out my name, interrupting my date nights, bitching about stuff that they didn't need to bitch about. So I play no games about beating and defeating both your odds back to back, and they can't even deny it. So I'm a 2-time champ.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so I play no games about brands like Payday, Three Musketeers, and nasty ass candies being used somehow to funnel government operations, because I've never actually seen anybody buy that shit in stores in person. So I'm like, how the fuck are these brands still sticking around after all these years? So there has to be some type of like collusion or something going on. But yeah, it was a random thought. I was in the grocery store earlier.
I actually really believe that. I've never seen anyone eat a peep in my life. Have you seen a person eat like a peep?
RJ, he will devour like 2 boxes.
That's sick.
That is nasty work. Have you ever seen someone eat?
Never.
She eats them.
I do.
Oh, candy corn?
I don't.
See? I agree with you for the first time.
No, my bro, you actually went to school in B Falls. He likes candy corn. Yeah, that's my dog. Not too much. Not too much. I seen the look in your face.
It's called a joke.
We don't play no games about that. Let's see.
Goodness.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I play no games about myself. This week has definitely been a week of transitions, pivots, and being assertive with my life and being firm with myself and doing exactly what I say that I'm going to do.
I'm not gonna lie, I felt that. She was giving me directions today. She's like, that's not working. And I was like, okay.
Okay, I spilled wine, red wine, all over this very, 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 very light colored carpet.
Very light.
But it's clean.
She was adding some texture and character to it.
No, like, it was just like, I felt that assertiveness. I was like, you know what? I should listen to her.
I drop and spill wine all the time.
Well, and to be honest with you, that's one of the main reasons actually why I wanted you on the show, because when we were at our
spill wine.
Oh no. Her assertiveness.
Okay, gotcha.
It's because the first time we met you was at the Silicon Forest event. And I'm just curious, from your vantage point, how's that event for you?
It was absolutely dynamic. My background is event directing. And so when Ashley and Yusuf hit me up and they were like, hey, we need your help, I was there easy. One thing that's really important to me is showing up and community. And so it was an easy yes, of course, but just being in that space, it was so vibrant. There was so much creativity. There was so much life in there that it just felt natural. It felt comfortable. It was just a beautiful learning experience because tech is not my world.
Yeah, I would say my experience was like the same way, more or less. Like, you know, we rob anything that has to do with like the city. If you're somebody I fuck with, I'm gonna do my best to pull up. And similarly, like tech isn't something I'm necessarily an expert in, but it was nice just seeing professionals who are passionate about what they do, especially with representation in our community, and seeing youth who were able to go through the different vendors and like, hey, you know, I have a question about XYZ, or how do I get involved with this program?
Yeah.
So.
No, and I would say, you know, that event also too was beautiful. It was filled with people just like both of you, were like the unsung heroes of our community that don't get the like proper spotlight. As much as I dig on this guy, like he's a solid character. I try to keep him humble.
I know.
I try to keep him humble. And to me, that's why I really like gravitated towards you, because I was trying to figure out, because everyone was busy. I was like, what should we do? Like, should we go here or there? And instead of be like, I don't know what's going on, you were like, let me go figure this out. Y'all go do this, you do this. And like, I appreciated that. So
yeah,
thank you.
I think it's important to have clarity. And that's in everything that you do. Even if I don't have an answer, it's important for me to get an answer because I question everything. And if something is happening or if someone is coming to me with a question, I obviously look like I have an answer. And I'm a problem solver. Like by nature, I want to do the things. I want to figure all the things out. And I'm always in this weird back and forth competition with every version of myself, just trying to figure out how we can explore more, how we can experience deeper. And it really starts with the people. If someone starts a conversation with me, we're locked in. At that point, I want to know all the things. I love people and I love to do people. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, take it away.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I'd like to say thank you for this kind gesture with the wine.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers. So to that, I got a 2-part question. One, just for the people and just for our own knowledge, what are we sipping on right now? And then secondly, can you speak about your business as an event director and how you got involved in like wine culture?
Yes. So this is a 2022 Pinot Noir from North Valley Vineyards. So this is just gorgeous. It is a beautiful love story. Just on the palate, it's silky, it's balanced. There's that velvety. It's relaxing and it's at ease. And the winemaker, James Cahill, is absolutely dynamic and he knows what he's doing when it comes to juice. So I'll drink North Valley Vineyards every day, all day. And I do. I had their Chardonnay earlier, but yeah, just what you're drinking it's beautiful. It's a beautiful Pinot Noir. It's smooth. It's silky. It's everything that you'd expect. And just even when you look at the color, it has that darker hue. She's beautiful. Wine. How did I get into it? How did I do the things? So I was in social work for 10 years and then I burnt out. But prior to that, I love stories. I love stories. And again, I love solutions. And so for me, I was way too passionate about my job. And I lost the sight of what my job was and what I was supposed to be doing. Like I'm supposed to be moving and shaking. And I was building these long-lasting relationships with my clients because I was considered family to them. I was all they knew. And so anyways, the pandemic hit and I'm like, if this is the end of my life, is this how the story is going to end? And I didn't want it to end that way. And at that point, I decided I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do, however I wanted to do it. And I was drinking a lot of wine at the time. And I was like, I think I could do this. I think I could do something with this. And so I started learning. I started taking courses, drinking more. And I have a friend who reached out to me. She owns a Pilates studio. And she said, we're having our 2-year anniversary. Can you help me pick out some wine? And I said, yeah, let's go wine tasting. Let's do the things. And so as we're wine tasting, she's like, I need food. I need this. I need that. And I'm like, I think I could figure that all out. And so that was my first event. And that was the creation of my business, Boards and Bottles. I was one of the first businesses in Oregon to have a charcuterie company. And after that, just my wine world took off. That moment was so pivotal. So many doors opened, from me traveling to France, from me just interacting in all spaces of the industry. I do all the things. And the more I transitioned in my career, I landed as a director of special events. And I love to serve. And that really comes from my background in social work, that if there's anything that I would do and could do, it's serve others in a capacity to be able to provide them with resources. And I think the best resource is other people. And so how can I connect people with other people? Wine. It's easy.
Well, I'm going to go slightly off the beaten path, just a smidge. This explains so much. Social work, clients. Now, you said something very interesting that I feel like we talk about in our sector is burnout and good social workers switching to different professions. And I was wondering, can you kind of like talk a little bit more of like, how did you realize you were experiencing that burnout and realizing that you needed something else different? Because you don't hear that from the social workers. They're always like, I want to connect the dots.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, how did you come to that realization?
I didn't like who I was. I didn't like how I was spending my time. I didn't like how I was interacting with the work that I was doing. The passion wasn't there. And I've always been someone who operates in passion, who operates in doing all the things that I've always just done things the way that I like to do them. And I felt like I couldn't do me the way that I wanted to do me. And that was enough to walk away.
I appreciate you saying that, because I think we lose a lot of good social workers and just people who want to connect people to resources in that way. I'm not trying to say that, we got, have $1 million salaries or, opportunities, but it's just like, when you give your energy to someone else or, connecting, that just, it's a big toll on the soul. But to get us back on the path, I'm curious, how do you define a successful wine event?
Ooh. I mean, every event is different. Every event has its own goals, its own, mission. But I think as long as I see people smiling, drinking, buying bottles, that's good for me, because that's the point, right? We're interacting, but yeah, spend money too. It's important.
No broke boys allowed. No. Or something. But I have a question about wine. I wouldn't call myself a sommelier, but I do drink wine quite a bit, and I have, baseline level knowledge around different wine varieties. What would you say is the issue with, now speaking of generalities here, why do you think people in our community have such an issue drinking wine or looking at it as like a bougie, activity?
I mean, it's a culture. I can get into this.
Yeah. She was ready.
Because from my travels to France, I learned that wine is a part of the meal. It's on the table for every meal. And I feel like our community has not always had the opportunity to experience the impact and the power that comes with wine. And I think there's just always so many things, disparities, all the things. Yeah. You can get a good $30 bottle. You can get a good $50. Well, you just drink what you like.
That's always my biggest thing, bro. Yeah. Like, we've had conversations about this before. I've had $100 bottles of wine that tasted terrible. I've had $15 bottles of wine that were some of the best, collections I've ever had. To me, it just, to her point, just drink whatever suits your palate. And what I get from wine more than anything, just like the experiences and conversations I have with people I'm having with more than anything, like the stories I have. Like there's a bottle one of my mentors gave me back in 20s, had to be right when I graduated, so like 2017, and it was already aged 10 years. So a lot of know, like whenever I do eventually decide to open that, I can reflect back on, my career journey after I got out of college and everything like that. So
no, I think you're definitely speaking fact. I can't remember what this was from, but a lot of our deals in like human life happen around a table, happen drinking, happening while eating. So when we fast forward and look at culture, like all of our major arguments are away from the table. And I would wonder what it would be like if like we're, sitting having a drink, and why did this not work?
Yeah.
And to double down on that too, I feel like part of it too is also people at times have like inferiority complex, and like they look at wine or certain like restaurants or whatever have you as like luxury items, or like I'm not supposed to be in this space. Like, bro, this is no different than you drinking like a glass of Hennessy or like tequila or whatever have you. It's just I'm drinking some wine as opposed to XYZ.
Right.
Don't think too much of it. Like
exactly. We're like, and I really appreciate you both echoing that, because it just takes me to the point where I think when it comes to like our culture, I think once we kind of get out of like we've heard this so many times, like the crab in the barrel mentality,
or like the invisible,
exactly,
the invisible ceiling. Yeah,
I think a lot more like conversations, not just enjoying wine, but just enjoying different things, because I feel like so many ways like Black culture is put into like this box, like this, the Black man has to look like this, the Black woman has to be like this, where like as soon as we deviate a little further from that, all right, now you're a nerd, or
you're a weirdo, or like you're trying to be whitewashed or whatever.
Exactly. Whereas now this is actually just a different shade of Black. So no, I appreciate this conversation.
Yeah, I grew up in Beaverton, and so I've always been siloed in my own little world. I had a great experience growing up. Don't get me wrong, but I had so many experiences because my peers were able to naturally explore. There were no parameters with them in exploration. They were able to move and shake. And their parents supported them moving and shaking. And so, there was no restrictions. I remember having my first glass of wine. I had a friend whose parents owned a vineyard, and we were like 14. And we had a Pinot, and that was my first taste. And so wine has always been a part of my life. And there's nothing like holding a bottle. There's nothing like swirling the glass in your hand. It feels good. It feels powerful. And it's whatever you want it to be. And that's why I didn't start talking about tasting notes and what you smell, because that doesn't matter. You're going to taste what you want to taste. You're going to smell what you want to smell. It's not that deep.
And that's why I laughed at the beginning. I felt powerful when I had this glass.
Yes. Yes.
See, thank you. See, I felt.
I'm gonna take you to your ass tasting room. They have like this. I don't know. It's
in the
not.
bowl?
Yes.
Yeah.
They have like this. Almost you say like a science chart for like breaking down different notes with wines. So we'll do that one day.
Okay. Yeah. No, I would love that. I would say this guy, like one of the most. There's like three guys I would say cultured, like the only thing he's definitely in my top three. He's a guy.
Yeah.
So smart.
I could kick it with the YNs, or I could go to a play on Broadway.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm curious. You talked about France. When it comes to vineyards, right? American vineyards in France. What are some of the differences? Are there similarities?
The Willamette Valley and France, there's a lot of similarities. Really? Yes. That's my favorite wine. I love a Burgundy. And so I love a good Pinot because they're so closely aligned. I think with Burgundy, it's different because there's so much rich history. And so, that's the birth of wine. So I feel like Burgundy is so masculine. it's deep rooted. And then, with Pinot Noir from the Willamette Valley, it's, I would say, more feminine, Yes, it definitely has rich history, but she's pretty.
You know what she just reminded me? So before, not to cut your knowledge, before I actually was a co-host, I came on to the pod twice as a guest. You know what I actually came on for originally? I threw an event.
What event?
About wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wine mixer. It was called In the Midst.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's funny how everything came full circle. But, yeah. Commercial time?
I think it's time for that full circle moment.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back, y'all.
Do you have an event coming up? A project that'd be elevated by crisp visuals and clear audio. Look no further than the Backseat Critic Productions. Our email is bc.productions.pdx@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram at bc.productions.pdx.
We're back. Hi. Hopefully you enjoyed that commercial break. Now, I have a question for you. Now, you are, in my opinion, a philosopher in our day and age because you post inspirational things all the time. And people who follow you should just by default be motivated. And I'm just curious, just open up this conversation. Why do you think people struggle at connecting the dots with other people in our current society?
I think there's a few things. I hate the conversation around being authentic because the world does not want you to be your true self. You will never be able to be your true self in the world. The world will never be able to accept your weird quirks and all the things and everything in between. But I also believe that it's so important to own who you are. And that's where the lack of connection is with people, because people they're not comfortable owning themselves. And me, I know who I am. I'm all the things. I'm weird. I am. My family was one of the first Black families that moved to Beaverton in the early 2000s. So me being weird, I've always been in my own little island. And so it wasn't a big fret for me to be who I was. And being able to create Connecting Her Dots, it was my side of the internet, my side of the world. If you didn't like it, you didn't have to follow it. But it's definitely at a space in a stage where it's so natural. And it's like, this is me. This is how I show up. Maybe you resonate with that. Maybe you've experienced something like that. But I don't bullshit. I'm who I am. And within that, I've noticed that a lot of people are not comfortable with who they are. So they can't connect.
Okay, so you talk about being comfortable with who you are. So I just want to ask, because I'm curious, as someone who grew up in Northeast Portland, growing up in Beaverton, did you find any challenges, or what was your experience connecting to Black culture out there?
So there wasn't really any Black culture. But, I was fortunate enough that my grandma lived on 16th and Killingsworth. So I'd come over here with my cousins and act an absolute ass. I was just, I think that now that I look back, and everyone will say this, I was probably the real life Nunu. I wanted so bad to have this. Yes, that was what it was. Because it was just different in Beaverton. I didn't need to do all that. But then being here, I had to prove that I was that.
So you had a Picasso in your house?
I did not have a Picasso.
This actually question really just came from our conversation with facilitating this interview, because we talked about just Portland and connecting it in events and trying to really chop at the hierarchy of I'm the guy or I'm the girl to run these spaces, rather than let's not do this in silos, and people having to be in silos, because when you're trying to be yourself, it's no, don't do that. Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious, for you, where did you feel like you put that all together? Because when people, in my opinion, are giving out quotes and things like that, I think sometimes it comes from a place of like, something really quick, but sometimes I think quotes really come from like really like learned experience. And I'm just curious, what do you think that you've learned from your life for you to feel comfortable to just share that with everyone else where you're like, I just want to help? Like,
I think for me, I truly, none of it matters. Nothing matters. Everything is whatever it is. Everything is whatever it's going to be. But one thing that's always been important to me is sharing. And again, as I said earlier, the greatest resource in life is other people. People are the greatest books that you will read. And if I can share something that can help someone else go through a transition or understand the process of career pivots, for me, I've always had to create my own lane. I've always had to create my own story. I've always had to craft my own educational experience. I've had to do it all. And I've had to make it align with me and who I am, because I think different. I think I'm very forward thinking. I'm a creative. There's a lot going in here at all times. And so I need to be able to get that out. And so if I don't dump it, then it stays here, and then it doesn't allow me space for new things.
So I'm curious, as a Black woman in the industry that can be predominantly dominated by men, were there any other women who, you may have either leaned on for like support or just like advice as you were starting to, put some framework around your business, or even put any thought towards going to any entrepreneurial endeavors?
Yeah, I mean, I feel so grateful and so lucky because I've had the greatest women in the industry mentor me, from Maria Ponzi, to Kate Payne Brown. The industry has been welcoming. I've had a great time. I've been able to learn so much. And the thing I love about wine is I haven't run into much gatekeeping. It's like, this is how I did this. This is how this is the process of this.
Interesting. Okay. I'm surprised that you would say that, because you would think there would be that because of the culture, and I think that's my own assumption building. So I feel like I'm, because when we've literally just talked about the show, like, oh, wine is this thing, and sometimes some stereotypes are kind of have some roots, but it's like interesting. I would think that they would. So no, I'm glad.
And I think for me, I know where I belong. And I can walk in a room. I know when someone doesn't like me. I don't stay in places that I'm not supposed to be, because not every room is meant for us. I know if I don't connect with something, I'm not going to stay in that space. If you don't want to help me, you don't have to. There's always somebody that is willing to help. And so I think that's a big piece of my pie is I'll move and shake and until I get the right answer. And so I'm not worried about who doesn't want me there. I'm worried about where I feel the best, where I'm comfortable, and where I can break out of that.
One of my final questions I have for you is, you talked a lot about growth, new understandings of yourself. How do you want to define success for yourself? Not in the next 2 years, but in the next year.
Honestly, no matter where I am, I feel good. Right now, I feel like taking next steps and transitions, that feels like success for me. I don't plan too far ahead because I don't know what's coming my way. And so success for me looks like happiness. It looks like me being able to share wine with friends. It looks like this, like having conversations. That's what success is. The money's always coming. The money will always come. And that's not one, factor that I define myself by, because money's money. But we lose the essence that there are other pieces of currency. And my network is the currency that I invest in the most.
Nice. Just kind of answered it, but I just like a little bit more clarification on this. Do you feel rooted to the Portland metro area, or say a year from now, would you be not opposed to like taking your business and maybe your life to say Atlanta, Napa Valley, New York, or whatever have you?
I am a Portland girl. I love Oregon. I go to Bend every year. I'm in Sun River. I like hiking. I like fishing. I got a truck. I will put stuff on the back of my truck. Like, I love, this is where I am. This is home. I don't want to be anywhere else. I don't like humidity. I don't like peculiar, forecast. I don't like that.
Damn, she just took a crazy shot at Houston, New Orleans,
oh my
Atlanta.
gosh, the last time I was there, as I was leaving to the airport, there was a flood and a hurricane.
You be good. I done lived through 3 hurricanes, 2 tropical storms, a tornado.
Yeah, I don't play with that.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, man. I think if I could live anywhere else, I think I'd probably do Arizona.
Hell no.
It gets a little warm.
That shit dry. That dry ass heat.
I could deal with that.
Boy, it'd be like 120 in the summer.
I understand. I got air conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta leave the house eventually.
I'll leave it.
And then the air conditioning's in the car.
Exactly. I'll leave and come right back.
You gonna look like never mind.
I'm gonna look like what?
That mic. Bro, you can fry an egg in Arizona on the ground. No bullshit.
I understand. I wouldn't want to live in New York, even though I would enjoy it too much. I wouldn't want to live in what do you call it? Like maybe Sacramento. I could probably do a Sacramento.
What the fuck?
Wouldn't want to live in LA.
Sacramento?
I
have you been to Sacramento?
Yes, I have.
Do you enjoy it there?
Yeah, I have a private eye auntie that lives there.
Okay, that's nice that your auntie lives there. You enjoy it there?
Yeah, it's chill.
What do you like about Sacramento?
It's just like slow.
You might as well move to Salem. Bro, they damn near the same city.
Hey, at the time I had
one just got a sports team.
Yeah, there you go. Like the beam.
They ass right now.
I know.
But
but anyway, yeah. What about you?
My heart's in Texas, so that's always a possibility.
I know.
New Orleans is like a second home to me. Having lived there for a couple years. Only thing is, I'd have to be rich if I was living in New Orleans, because it puts too much of a fuck it in your system. And as somebody that's pretty ambitious in terms of my career endeavors, I can't have that flowing through my veins. Like, not to quote the dead, but what Kobe said was right. The disease of laziness is contagious. So yeah, I can't get down doing what I'm doing now and then get down there and then I'm just drinking daiquiri, sitting at Audubon Park, eating probably a pound of crawfish, but yeah. Then you look up, 4 hours went by and all you did was smoke a J, and that was it. Sound like my last couple years of college.
All right. Well, Tay, bring us home.
Okay, I only got a few for you because we answered a lot. So we're going to play this one game. Let's play it, right? Want to hit me up real quick, probably, if you can? The basketball.
Yep. Oh.
All right, so balls in your court. We're going to play this game called... Oh, sorry, damn. I thought... Yeah, she ain't got no reflexes or the wine's hitting her. But it's like a game I like to play called Shot Clock. It's going to be rapid fire questions, rapid fire answers, right? So, for example, I'm going to ask you what's your favorite color, red or blue, and you're going to answer...
Oh, I'm answering now. Okay,
yeah.
Blue.
Okay, see, so you have to play.
Red, actually red.
Red?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Red.
You said tripping right now, so which is it?
Red.
Red, okay, right. No. All right, so we're going to go. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Just start off. What's been your favorite event so far that you posted?
Ooh.
Don't put too much thought to it.
Okay. Yes. Okay. My Savor and Scene event. So I have a pop-up wine series where I do these intimate events at different wineries, and it's amazing.
Okay. Dead or alive, you could have a glass with anybody and talk with them for an hour. Who are you having that with?
Anthony Bourdain.
All right. no budget. There's no endless budget, right?
Mhm.
You can book them. They're gonna say yes. You
Pretty
can-
Ricky.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
It's 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
No, Pretty Ricky all day.
Okay, word. And is it like a business mixer or just like a social experience?
It's whatever they want to do.
Word. That's crazy.
No, I love them.
Taxes
Yeah,
spectacular.
for sure. Okay. We're gonna take this your last event series and we're gonna take it to any other city. Where would you like to host it?
Ooh.
See, that's why I gave it to her.
I know. You know
What?
what? Maybe France.
What part?
Paris.
Paris. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I love like a good haunted vampire vibe, and I feel like
Can we
That's-
try? Can we try Versailles then?
we could.
Okay.
I like your style.
Mm.
Yeah.
Likewise. What culture?
Okay.
You know what? I don't know how you deal with this.
Thank you
Deal with
so much for
This is rough.
being
What?
This is rough.
What? He just gave me a shot. You talking about how do I deal with this?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, he's rough.
Very.
Yeah.
You know.
No, seriously.
Nah, I just speak my mind. That's all.
Is this the wine talking?
Bro, it has to be because, like, bro, he gave me
No,
a shot.
it's the
and
red
I-
vines.
Bro,
I've had so much candy. Do I get to take this home? Is this my parting gift?
It
You know,
might.
you could definitely take some
Okay.
red vines for the road.
Oh, some.
Some.
Now, I'll just say this. Really quick on air, nice touch with shot clock. I think we gotta keep that going. I like what you did there. Please keep that. Ball, gotta do that. I just want to say, number one, when it comes to everything in between, thank you so much for your time, energy, and effort.
Thank you.
Like, literally, you will do anything that you are destined to do. I just feel it because when you walk into the room, it's just like you have the energy of I can.
Before or after I dropped the bottle.
I didn't react because I knew we would get through it.
We did.
I believed. I believed in your belief.
Good.
So
We solve problems.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, she's a problem solver. Like, if I ever run for the White House, she would definitely be in the cabinet. She would have whatever job she would want because she would solve that problem immediately because she could just solve any problem.
I know that's right.
She definitely can.
I literally.
I'm still a little salty. She like taking your side right now. But
Well,
that's-
because so swear you guys stick together.
It's being authentic and it's being real. And I already told you, I can feel the vibe.
what's the vibe?
There isn't one.
See,
And you know what the vibe is? The Play No Games podcast. Because we bring you all types of guests. We're not pigeonholed. We want to hear from everyone because everyone has a beautiful story. And I know I am speaking for Tay, but I know Tay can definitely speak for himself. We are very grateful for your time, energy, and effort. And this is a perfect story in our bookcase of stories.
catalog.
There we go. I was
Yeah.
trying to find a better word. I was like shelf, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Anywho, where can they find you, your events?
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram at connectingherdots. And there you will get all the info about all the things. I write a little bit. I post my events. There is a Savor and Scene event upcoming, invite only in early May. So stay tuned.
Hey, you know, if y'all
Hopefully we make the guest list and then we're gonna see.
we might know who run it. So if y'all talk to us, we might talk to her.
Maybe.
invite only.
No. Bring some red vines.
That's your
I got
entry
you.
pass.
Yeah, seriously. This was my thing. How did you know?
Really?
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
Psychology.
And it's like the big container. That's insane. How many? That's 5 pounds.
And that shit will be gone by mid-May.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, I would just say at the end of the day, because I do want this on camera, the team here work extremely hard. And when I, get sprinkled a little extra, I'm always thinking about how can I, help the team. And I just want to say, from the RJs, from the Andrews, from the Tays to the Casas, to even the, everyone else who's been here. Like, I'm forever grateful no matter what goes. And, just like you say, always want to connect the dot, and doing these small things is,
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
I try to have good moments with you. No, thank you. Back to business.
Yeah, that was cute, but it's about me. Thank you.
What's this?
Gloat about me a little bit more.
What's your sign?
What do you think?
I'm not gonna assume
Because you're a Cancer.
you're close.
Oh.
You thought?
Okay, what do you think? What do you think my sign is?
Aquarius.
I feel like you know.
No, I'm not gonna lie. You're a little hard to read.
Really? That's the answer.
Yeah. Part of me wants to say a Gemini. You don't.
Scorpio.
I'm a Gemini.
Oh shit. Hey.
What am I?
Who cares? Not playing now. I'm fuck with you.
No, you. No, that's fine.
No. What are you though?
Yes.
I
Bro.
don't know.
Bro.
Sagittarius.
Oh.
I swear, like right here in the guy.
Here we go.
Right here in the guy. I
was about to say that. Yeah. Yeah, you're fiery, whatever. I used to hate that when I was dating. They'd be like, "What's your star sign?" And I'm like, "Look here, it don't matter."
I ain't gonna lie. If a woman asked me it on the first date, I damn near would just like throw her some bullshit just to hear her say like, "Oh my god, you definitely read that."
I'd be like, "I'm a Taurus. I knew it." Guess what? I'm a Scorpio. I'm like, "Yeah, you're just making it up."
Yeah.
What are you, Andrew?
Gemini.
When's your birthday?
June 12th.
No.
Yeah.
That's my birthday.
Oh shit.
No, it's June 14th.
Close.
Really close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you know that my birthday is the same day as Trump's birthday? So for like 6 years straight,
Boy.
my family wouldn't celebrate my birthday on the 14th. They maybe celebrated on the 12th because my cousin's birthday's on the 13th.
Damn.
That's tricky.
That's shit.
That's
I
tricky.
know. Isn't that crazy?
That's a rough catch.
I know.
Damn.
I know.
Well, hopefully by next week these tariffs are gone.
There's a 90-day pause.
Yeah.
Well, if you like what we're doing, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you with the next one.
All right, yeah.
Cheers.